We felt it'd be a good idea to put out a short video today, letting Josh kind of explain the new MOUs, kind of highlight some changes for everybody, and after that, open it up to a couple of questions that we've seen from the membership. So, Josh, if you'd like to start with Article 24.
Okay, so I'd just like to start by saying we did make some changes to the MOUs this year. We were just trying to bring them a little bit more closely in line with the intent of the contract and the language in the contract. And after talking to the contract team and getting some interpretations from them, we made a few changes. And so I'll just kind of go over some of the highlights. So with Article 24, leave this year will look like 3 slots year round with a 4th slot for the week of Thanksgiving and a 4th slot the week of Christmas. The 3rd slot will go away after the 2nd round. And I didn't really like when they proposed that, but after looking at last year, almost all those 3rd slots were gone after the 2nd round anyway, so we shouldn't really be giving back a whole lot of slots there. And then another thing that we changed is how we proceed through bidding down the seniority list. So if you earn 13 days a year or 4 hours of pay period, you can bid in the first 2 rounds and then rounds 5 through 8, which are the accumulated rounds. Same if you are, so 14 days up to 20 days, which is 6 hours of pay period, then you'll bid in the first 3 rounds and then rounds 5 through 8. And then if you're a 26-day or 208 person, then you'll bid in all the rounds. The reason for that was just because the contract language is you'll be able to bid all the leave that you accrue, or you have the opportunity to bid all the leave that you accrue prior to people bidding accumulated leave. So if you're a 13-day earner in the first 2 rounds, you've had the opportunity to bid those 13 days. So that's how we'll roll through bidding. It'll keep it'll make bidding go a little bit quicker. And also the 1 round that we had last year for the 26-day people, where you could bid 1 day in the 5th round, we did away with that. And then the 4th round, you'd be able to bid 6 days. So first round is still 1 to 2 weeks consecutive or non-consecutive. You can span 1 set of RDOs, and then the other rounds after that will all be 5 days anywhere you want, except for that 4th round, which will be 6 days. And I think that's about it for Article 24. So Article 32, we added 1 4 rotation, which would be 1 swing shift in 4 days. If you don't like getting assigned a day shift, if it even happens, I don't think it'll happen that often, but if you get assigned a day shift on your 2nd day and you don't want it, I don't think it'll be that hard to get rid of it. For employees that check out mid-year, we're just gonna leave them on that line, and if we need to Article 46, we can Article 46 from there. There won't be an auto request. If you get pushed to a 3rd swing, the auto request to go back to your bid day shift will not be in there. You'll just have to kind of pay attention to that and put those requests in yourself. And then all shift change requests, days off changes, shift swaps, all that stuff will have to go through web schedules. So rather than standing at the desk talking to the front line and just having them put it in, we want to make sure those requests go through web schedules, so there's a paper trail showing just how all that shook out. For the overtime MOU, there's wording changes as far as like the yes list and the no list goes. It'll still be annotated that way in web schedules just because that's the way it's done, but the language in the MOU just changed a little bit. The intent is still the same. You can change back and forth between lists as many times as you want, but it's still going to be just overtime worked, so you'll still just carry the hours that you've worked, and that's how many hours you'll have. For people that check out mid-year, if they want to work overtime, they'll go to max hours of their crew plus 1. If they don't want to work overtime, they go to minimum hours of their crew minus 1. And then there won't be an auto request. If you don't want to work overtime, there's no auto request to go back to your RDO. Again, you'll have to just kind of pay attention when the schedule drops and put that in on your own. And then the big thing is, I'm sure everybody's heard about it, signing overtime in conjunction with annual leave. Technically, they're allowed to do it. They don't want to do it. If you have 2 weeks of leave bid and you're going to be out of the country, they know that if they assign you overtime on those middle RDOs that you're not going to be here. So that's not the intent. It was just, it was seen as an infringement on management's rights this year to say that you shall not, cannot, must not, any language like that. So basically we just have it in there that you'll be the last person in the area that's assigned overtime on that shift. And then even if that happens, if there's a reason that you're not going to be able to work that shift, make sure you let somebody know. We'll be at least 28 days ahead of when it happens, and we can address it then. Yeah, I think that's kind of covers all the main changes.
Okay.